Namaste, good morning, welcome to the sunrise sessions. Hope this mic works beside the beach today. I decided to take a little walk. I have been sitting somewhere up here, somewhere along those rocks before, but I thought I'd go for a little walk today. It's a beautiful view, and it's a little bit later, and the sun is rising over here. So I thought I'd take a little walk along the beach and do a little walk and talk for our sunrise sessions. It's not as cold today, but wow, it's really beautiful. I wonder, don't know how to flip the camera on this thing. It's okay, we don't need. So let's walk and talk as the fishermen are setting up for the day. Today we want to talk about always being a student, sometimes being a teacher. So I feel myself and know myself to be a continuous student of life. Many days I'm an F grade student of being a human. Like some days, especially recently, as I've been having these soul merges over the last few years, like remembering how to be human, learning to be a human is quite a challenge again. It's like over the past few years, I really feel like I've been rebirthing multiple aspects of my soul and relearning. Although this body's 44 years old, there's this continuous relearning of being a human, how it is to be a human, how it is to live as a human, and that can be quite a challenge sometimes. So that's one aspect, the multidimensional aspect of learning to be a human continuously every day. No matter how many years the body has, the learning never stops, the remembering never stops. So learn remembering. So this energy of continuously being a student is such a powerful one. It's like the beginner's mind idea that we talked about in a few videos, and the openness to know that all I know is I know nothing. And when we're in that space, everything is possible, everything is potential. When you know everything, you're dead. The idea that you know everything is death. The thought that there's nothing to learn, there's nothing to discover, there's nothing to know anymore, nothing more to know, firstly is impossible and purely egoic, and it's a pure limitation. And this is the downfall of, or maybe not even the downfall, maybe it's the purpose of Western education, to close the mind into what is known, what is right, what is wrong, and to continuously seek to know the known. But it closes down as soon as it feels like it achieves something that it knows, then it closes down. This is like the false science. This is the con of science. Science without conscience is the con of science. Modern science, real science, is always seeking to disprove itself, always open to new potentials, always open to what is possible. The con of science is this is what is true, that's it. And then it's probably funded by someone who wants to come to that conclusion. But that's a whole other thing. So the continuous student, I really feel that energy, like just non-stop. Learn remembering. Just checking this mic is working, I think it's okay. If you're joining live, could you just let us know that the sound is okay? Because it's very loud. Waves. We've got the waves. Please just put in the comments if it's working okay. That would be amazing. Let's see if we can get some of this soul being. Kiwarayam. Inamaraya tutu churaya seteraya tira kiwama hatuayan. Yanataraya tuaye ati. Yataraki hapra ad tunyamakita annatewayan. Yanarawaya tiraye tuai. You are light. We are light. And no matter what you know, there's more to know. And you can never know all there is to know because it's literally impossible. And if we're in the energy of continuously being open to know and just checking, it's all good. Thank you, Katrina. Awesome. Okay, and there is always more to know because the known word, what is to know in the world is unlimited. And that's a beautiful gift to know that we can never know it all. We can never get it all. It is always, it's like the horizon we talk about. When you move towards the horizon moves. So when we're in the energy of always being a student, always being a student. So in all ways, we're a student of life. We're seeing that always there is a teaching. The teaching today could be the sun, could be the water, could be the wind, could be the rocks, or it could be that person that pisses you off. It could be that master teacher that doesn't know they're a master. Many master teachers don't know they're masters, and they trigger you and they touch your wounds and they show you a new way of being. Always being a student means that you can always find a lesson, a learn remembering in every circumstance, in every being. You can always be. That's the real free education system. Life is the free education system that never ends. The university of life never stops. It's an involution. It's not an evolution of degrees outwardly. It's an involution of learn remembering, coming home to who you are. And so when we're always a student, we look at all things as a potential to show us, remind us, teach us something about ourselves that we do not know, something that we have forgotten, something that we don't see so clearly anymore. And then the second part of this is sometimes a teacher. So always a student, sometimes a teacher. So there are times where we'll be knowingly teachers, and sometimes we'll be those unknowing teachers. A lot of times this one is an unknowing teacher, where I somehow trigger people in certain things. Or I get like, it's funny, like when I was doing a lot of things, I would get, I put something out there that might be a little bit edgy or controversial, and then I would get messages from people saying, wow, this was amazing, it really opened up something for me. And then about the same thing, I would get a message from someone else, you shouldn't be saying this, that really, like the literal opposite thing. And that's when you're being an unknown teacher, because the teacher is not you, life is the teacher. And when we're open, when we have the energy of always being a student, we will sometimes be the teacher, either knowingly or unknowingly. And of course, there's times that we'll knowingly be a teacher with our children, or maybe even our work, our service, our job. There will be times that we will show and by our example or by our experience, teachings, whatever it may be. But even in the times when we're knowingly a teacher, it's very important to be open to be the always a student, even when you're knowingly a teacher. Because every student is a teacher and every teacher is a student, in truth. But the teachers that know it all can't teach, and the students that know it all can't learn. So always a student, sometimes a teacher, allows us to have an awesome life. If we bring awe into our life, some of life will fill us with awe, some of life will fill us with curiosity, but it will be an awesome life. So if we can bring awe and wonder, like the children, back, bring that back into our lives, the awe and wonder of life. You think about when a child begins to become aware of the world, and our little master son now is at the stage of the how and the why. Do you think, just how and why of everything? Do you think younger than that, before you even put language to ask the questions how and why, just looking at something is amazing. Think about like textures of fabrics, or like everything that comes into like a baby or a child's world is magical. It's mystical. It's like so curious. They're full of awe, and that's why they're so abundant. That's why children are just like they're just a magnet for love, because they are love, and people want to give them gifts, and people want to spend time, and people want to take care of them, not because they've done something, they haven't earned it or something like the weird stuff adults make up. We have to earn our living. No, children just are their abundant, awesome self, and the abundance of life just provides for them and expands them and opens them. So if we can, again, it's always the teaching of the Master One, the keys to, this is paraphrase, this is one that just keeps coming, the keys to the kingdom of heaven are in the hands of the little children. If you cannot be like the little children, which means be in wonder and awe constantly, as you're always a student, you're always an awesome being, seeing the awe in the world, seeing wonder in the world. And that's the small things and the large things, because the Spirit has no size. Spirit doesn't see by degrees. Spirit simply expresses everything, and children see the wonder and the awe and the interest. Have you ever noticed the child like seeing what would look like to the adult like boring or mundane, and they're fascinated by something like a button, whatever it is. You can make it doesn't matter what. They can find fascination and wonder and awe in anything, and that's why they are abundant, connected, beautiful beings, and they hold the keys to the kingdom of heaven, and that kingdom of heaven is within. Oh wow, look, what are these? Oh, I have to take this one with me. Look at this. Don't always find them whole. I wonder what that was. It's obviously some kind of animal, but that one's really cool, yeah? I'm gonna kick it. See? I'm finding wonder and awe in this. Okay, I'm gonna wash it off and try not to get soaked. There we go. I'm finding wonder and awe in this little shell thing. If anyone knows what this is, like how could this have been a living thing? It obviously was, but I don't know where the body parts and stuff would have been. But anyway, put your wonderful answers in the comments, please, if anyone knows what these things actually are. It's obviously shellfish, but this one's like completely flat. Like literally. How do we show it? Anyway, that one's coming. So yes, always the student, sometimes the teacher. And it's an energy that allows life to become more magical and miraculous. In the book, we're on chapter 14, and the live videos at 3:33 UK time from the Life of Bliss. We're in chapter 14, and the initial theme has been around miracles and magic and seeing the wonder. And it's a welcome chapter after the long chapter 13 on death. I better just watch. There's a fishing line here. I don't want to get clotheslined by a fishing line. Is there a line out there? I'll just go the other side just in case. Yes, there is. Wow, he's out very far. So, yeah, being open to the potential that Katrina says clam. Ah, is that what that is? That's amazing. So I wonder where, because it's like completely flat. Ah, so maybe this is one half. This is one half. Oh, maybe. Could be. I don't know. Maybe this is only half of the equation. And there's another one. Yeah, there isn't like a little groove at the bottom here, like this, where maybe the other half of it was there. I don't know. Well, that is one. That is a little bit of wonder and awe for us today to contemplate and ponder. um, but yeah, you usually find when you see these, they're usually broken. They've been smashed on the waves, or something has smashed them up and ate them. Who knows? But I'm always waiting to find some golden treasure from Atlantis washing up here from Atlantida, the Atlantis. So, always a student, sometimes a teacher. Katrina's saying scallop as well. I don't know, but scallops. Anyway, we shall find out today. Somehow, scallop or clam. Answers on a virtual postcard. Oh my God! Look at this guy. Watch it. This guy. I don't know, you won't be able to see. I have to get closer. There's a guy. There's these things. They have like these surfboards which have this like big pole on the bottom. I'm not a surfer, so I don't know, but they seem to be able to do magic things with this, like not just like normal surfboards. And this guy was like just going surfing out the way there somehow. So always a student, sometimes a teacher. Sometimes it's easy to own the energy of being the student. Sometimes it can be a challenge or a reluctancy to own and embody the teacher. And so this one has it sometimes. And it's important that we find balance and to know that no matter our outer work or service in the world, we're always student, and sometimes all of us will be teachers. And to know that our teaching can be coming in the most unexpected ways, like ways that we literally don't even know as well. Like those triggers sometimes where someone will say they've had the most beautiful experience with something they shared, and then others like messaging me really mad, like really. Like I had one recently, it was really crazy. It was the lyrics of a song, and it just really touched me. And I sent it to a few people, and I got all these messages back saying, wow, how did you know to send that to me? That was the most beautiful thing. Oh my God, this is like talking directly to me. And then I got another messages, like really angry messages, like, how did you know this about me? What are you doing? Why would you send that to me? Never send me anything again. Literally, it was like this. And I was like, holy shit. What to do? What to do? That's when you're an unknowing teacher. Oh, here's this guy coming now. Let's see if you go. Let's go watch. Okay. Let's make this video a little bit of wonder and awe at surfing and human coolness like that. So we can have some wonder and awe. We'll talk and see if we can get this guy on this adapted surfboard. I don't know what it is. It's got like a big long line that goes down underneath, and it's kind of like got a fin on the bottom. So it must be a way of harnessing more of the wave's power, I think. But yeah, so if you are an unwilling teacher, an unwilling guide, an unwilling leader, let's say, it's important to know that that's an imbalance. Again, it doesn't have to be in the traditional sense where it outwardly or overtly looks like you're guiding people, you're teaching people, whatever the words may be. There can be you're always a teacher. When you go into the shops and buy something, how you are to that being can be a teaching. How you show up every day in your life is a teaching. You teach by example. You teach by showing. There's a guy coming in there. Amazing, these guys and gals get out they're right here before sunrise. Really cool. Surfers are definitely different types of humans. So let's see if we can catch some wonder and awe at the surf. Yeah, so if you are an unwilling teacher, an unwilling guide, we are, it's half the picture. We're cutting the gift of being always a student is diminished if we don't allow ourselves to become the teacher, to become, it's like, it's two sides. It's not one or the other. Again, the old system of teaching or education, let's say, sees students and teachers as separate. You know, the one with the knowledge and the one gaining the knowledge. Well, the actual word education comes from educare, I think, in Latin. What it means is to draw out. It means bringing out something that's within, not not putting in something that's not there. Okay, let's see if we can get a wee seat, a wee green seat. Hope the internet works okay. Katrina, could you let me know that the internet is okay when we're here? I think, because there's nothing that shows me. Unless we start talking about rascals and then it just shuts off altogether. This is wet. Oh, it is wet. Okay, no, we're going to keep walking. I was going to sit. So, yes, the other half of the equation, being always the student, but allowing yourself to be the teacher, allowing yourself to be the guide, allowing yourself to be the one who shows by example or by literal teaching of some form, whatever it may be. They're two sides of the same coin. They're not mutually exclusive. They're not. You become one. There might be if it's a very literal expression. There might be days when you are literally teaching in some way. It could be your job, your work, your service, whatever it happens to be. But if we still hold the energy of the eternal student while we are in that role of teacher, we will become a much more effective teacher. And if let's say we're continuously in that role of the teacher, the guide, whatever it is, and we don't hold that energy of the student, we diminish our potential of opening to more, of learning, remembering more, of seeing. You know, we might get to a level where we feel we don't have a lot of questions. And that's fine, we plateau, but if we don't enter environments, this one has been guided to do, enter environments, because I'm very comfortable in environments where I am just this open flow channel around mystical, multidimensional, non-duality, these sorts of things. It's ease. It doesn't feel like any challenge. Of course, there's challenges in life, but when I'm in that space, it comes very, very naturally to me. And what I've been guided to do is to put myself in spaces where I'm on the other side of that and it doesn't feel natural at all. So there was a period I was guided to go into particularly men's groups, men only groups, and men's work. And I was to go into those places and not in any way embody the overt teacher anyway. I was to be completely observing, completely just noticing and watching, see what it felt like, to feel like out of my depth, and to feel like one of the biggest things that I learned in that was this suffering of men was so much more, because I'm this year 10 years sober and out of again a lot of the overt suffering for men and for humans. I was disconnected from the specific suffering of men and some of the challenges, and like I was very disconnected from it, and so I was going through a reconnaissance mission for quite some time, a year or more, to go into men's groups, go in as a man, going in facing my own challenges and sharing in the groups, but being in a space where I was not in any way an overt teacher, and I was very much, and I felt that, and it was really beautiful, powerful, and awakening to the challenges that men face, and some of the things that that I haven't faced in my life, and I was like, wow, how prevalent they were. So that was one thing, and then the other was like going into spaces where, yeah, again, because I've held space for many years in breathwork, in channeling, in creating communities, all of that. It was going into spaces where I wasn't the one holding the space as well. I'm going into a space where I was very much, again, just as the eternal student. And one of those spaces was with the author Neil Donald Walsh, who's authored 40 books, and I would say has authored some of the most important books of definitely my lifetime, the Conversations with God series. And so I was in a group with him guiding that, and it was amazing how the hat of like teacher, guide, space holder could really come off in that space with him. It was really cool. I really felt like a child, and I really felt like in wonder and awe in how he in a very different way. It's not the way that I would do it, and that's the point. But in the way that he holds space and the way that he shares and guides people, that was a really amazing experience. And it was like amazing to, like, I felt completely removed from that role, and that was very cool. Um, where else have I put myself? And that, yes, so now the theme at the moment is to put myself either knowingly or unknowingly in the space of people that I don't agree with. that Martin's strongly held beliefs, to be in the space with people who hold the complete opposite belief, or hold beliefs that are very far away from that one. So that's my definite human student, always student at the moment, is like being in a space where people hold diametrically opposed beliefs, and putting myself knowingly and willingly in those spaces, and then just being open to the potential that it can happen in a space where you don't expect it. And that happened yesterday as well, which is very cool. And to notice what happens internally, what happens to the teacher, what happens to the one that knows things that's the opposite of what this one knows. And surprisingly for me yesterday, it was quite easy, which was good, because it was challenging some very strong held belief. It wasn't a direct challenge, but it was in a very intimate setting where some strong held beliefs of this one were, and let's say, an, another view was offered, and usually that would be like the little ego want to be right part would want to jump up, and it did jump up, but the feeling of surrender and letting go and allowing and being able to see that perspective was there, which was nice. So to keep it under 30 minutes, the invitation for today in this sunrise session is to see, firstly, do you have this intention of always being a student in some form, whatever that may be, all ways that can be. That can be technical, it can be emotional, spiritual, mental. It doesn't, all the ways in which you can continuously learn something. We talked about in one of the videos this week. Go back and watch it. Here's this guy now. Look, he's literally above the water. Oh my God! I bet you can't see it. So he surfs above. Oh, I have to get this video. This is too cool. This is the first time I've seen it properly. So he's like on a surfboard, but he's literally above the water. Look at this shit. This is so cool. I bet you can't see it because of the sun. Wow. So he's literally like floating above the water because he's got this big Oh, epic. He just wiped out. I bet you couldn't see that. He just wiped out. Can I zoom on this one? Because I'm using a different thing for... no, it just zooms my screen. Oh my God, that's so cool. So he has a surfboard, and then there's like someone here may know what that is. I have no idea. So there's a big long like pole comes down, and then there's like a fin at the bottom. So he actually, it's so perfectly apt for what we share in these sunrise sessions. He's literally surfing the waves, but he's not touching the waves. So the surfboard is not touching the waves, but the thing below is propelling him forward, and he's bouncing over waves. And wow, that is so cool. I'm definitely in wonder and awe at this. So we're apparently not going to be keeping it below 30 because I wanted to see if I could get you one little. Okay, we'll maybe get it another day. I will keep it because we've gone over 30 minutes already. Let's wrap it up. That was just the last little bit of excitement for little Martin. So, yes, the theme of the sharing and session is to find, firstly, do you have that um, eternal student energy, or is there areas of your life where you think you know it all? So that's areas of our life where we're dead, where it's death. And on the flip side of that, are there areas where you're called to be a teacher? Again, if it's unconscious and unknowing, maybe it's happening anyway, it's fine. But maybe it's overt. Is there times when you feel called from a loving way, not from an egoic way, to share something by example? You know, teaching by example is the greatest teaching. Teaching by words, I know this one does a whole lot of words. The teaching it's so limited. Teaching by words, teaching by example, by being the example to others. Sometimes we drown our light or dull our light where you're maybe an unwilling teacher, an unwilling guide by example. Sometimes we say, oh, we don't want to make people feel uncomfortable by shining our light. And this is like we have dark shadows and light shadows, but we'll talk about that in another video. So firstly, are you in the energy of always being a student? Do you see there's always something to learn? You can see that there's always a potential in every part of life to discover something, to learn something, to remember something. So we become like the little children again and see, like, I'm just watching if this guy goes up again. This continuous student, eternal student, open to all of life being our teacher, and see that we are equally, every single one of us, equally we are to be teachers, guides, examples to everyone. It's not like some are teachers and some are students. No, everyone is always a student and everyone is a teacher. We say sometimes a teacher because it's more important. We've got two ears. We've got two ears and one mouth. And this is funny from someone who's speaking on a video for 32 minutes. But in Ireland we say that means you should listen double than what you talk. So it's kind of hard when you're talking to a little black box, but I do listen to a lot of other beings and a lot of life. So we're always the student and sometimes the teacher. See where you have maybe not allowed yourself to be a student, and in some areas of our life, maybe we've closed down, we know it all, we've got the pattern, we know what we're doing, we have nothing more to learn. And where are you not allowing yourself or not allowing the gift to humanity and your family and your community to be a teacher, to be an example, to show what you know without identifying it as all that is to be known. So we're not going to get this guy on that. It's okay. Let's leave it there at 33 minutes. How perfect. Thank you for joining. Thank you for being here. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to always be a student and sometimes a teacher and have an awesome life. The wonder and awe of a child alive within. Until next time, from my heart to yours, the divine in me sees, loves and honors the divine in you. Namaste. We are Itifono.